Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. Alright, we have a comment that came into customer service, and this one comes from Dennis Higdon. And Dennis says, "Dear Serge, after quitting golf over 20 years ago, I started again last fall after retiring in Arizona. I was so busy I thought I should, oh, excuse me, it wasn't busy. He says, I was so lousy I thought I should quit again, until one of the guys in our league told me about your lessons. I have followed them as closely as possible and have knocked off almost 30 strokes, from the low 120s to the low 90s. I'm still improving and expect to be in the 80s very soon." Congratulations, that's a really good improvement right there. "I'm particularly impressed with your adamant feelings that just because everyone else says it ain't necessarily so. You give reasons for your beliefs, and I strongly agree with all you have said. Now, if only I could keep it all in my head. Anyways, thank you so much for helping me improve so much so quickly. Regards, Dennis Higdon." Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for sending it in. All right, so now you've reached a stage in life where you're retired and you can play golf. And what do we see happens with so many folks that reach that point? They stop playing golf, and not only do they play it, especially if they take it up late in life like you did, or take it up again after they've had those 30 or 40 years of raising families and working and everything else, so and spending all that time with their families, they basically gave up golf and they come back and play it, and then they start with this new rotational type swing with the big turns, and the first thing you know, they got trouble finding the club face, never mind finding the fairway or the greens, and then their bodies start killing them, and it's like, whoa, I can finally play golf, but I can't hit the broadside of a barn door. Or as they say sometimes, can't even hit a wall standing here twice in a row, and then they start hurting, and it cuts to a point like, what's the use? I'm terrible and I'm always hurting. I don't need this. I guess it's time to go back to fishing or something again. So they find PPGS, and I guess we could say they find nirvana, right? And why? And it's like he said, like Dennis said, just because everyone else says it ain't so, you prove everything you say. And why? Because everything in PPGS is involved. We're the only truly scientifically founded swing in both physics and physiology. And when God created the world to turn, he also created golf. And the number one law in physics is gravity. And if gravity is the most important thing, and the number one law in gravity is gravity. Excuse me, the number one law of physics is gravity. That means everything that goes up must come down. And guess what? When God created our bodies, he did not create our bodies to defy gravity. In fact, he created them to respond to gravity too. He did not give golfers a dispensation to play by their own set of rules. And number one rules being defy gravity. And that's what the modern golf swing does right now. It's all about a huge turn, and they want to get the club back over here like this. Here. Now, the simple question we ask is, hold the club here, and I do this at golf schools and private lessons all the time. If I put a stopwatch on and I say, okay, I want you to hold the club here or here, which one are you going to hold up longer? And I tell you what, everybody, as fast as I can snap my finger, says, here. I say, why? Because they say, it's light. And that's true. You can swing a light club faster than a heavy club. And why can you swing a light club faster than a heavy club? Because it's in harmony with gravity. Here, the heavy club falls back there. All right? And so therefore, why do we call this laid off? Because the club is laying down towards the ground, which gets it to a point where it's going to be horizontal. And once you get in that area of diagonal club too much, it falls backwards and down. Here, it falls straight down. I don't even need to be looking at the club. I can put this club way back there and let go, and it's going to fall right down my hand, because straight up comes straight down. And when God created our bodies, he created our arms to only swing up and down in front of our body. But when you make the big rotational turns that they want, they got the arms and the club way back here. And as secret number 2 and once you learn the 5 secrets of the peak performance golf swing, they become rules. Rule number 2 states, you must swing your arms, you must swing your palms perpendicular to the ground throughout the swing, because that's the way they're designed. And rule number 3 says you turn only to your toe line. So that's the left arm in the backswing. And once you reach the toe line, it's all up the tree. And in the forward swing, your right arm, or your back arm, if you want to go by right and back, goes to the toe line and it's up. We don't ever get behind the toe line, because why? Once your arms start to go behind your toe line, even if you turn, your arms start to break, they start to rotate, which means the palms are going palm to the ground. And if you have a club in your hand, in a perfectly palms perpendicular grip to the ground, the palms go into the ground, the club's going to the ground, and the face is going skyward, which is called shut. Okay? So here, if you stay perpendicular, the club is what they call neutral. It's not up and it's not down. Okay? So, face that is. Alright? So, God created the laws, and He created our body to conform to the laws. And to be maximized in our movement by conforming and swinging and maximizing the laws. So as I say to everybody, you want the laws of physics on your side to be your friend, and especially gravity. You want gravity to be your friend. So you want to get that club straight up, straight down, and straight up. And as I've said a number of times on this website, just look at most of the people playing the Champions Tour. You get a few now in the last 4 or 5 years, but all the original guys out there on the Champions Tour, and if you go to the World Golf Hall of Fame, I'll bet you at least 90% plus of everybody that's enshrined in there learned golf when it was relatively a vertical swing. They might have turned more and got the parallel, but they all had their hands up here. The club was up in the air. If they swung the parallel, it was still somewhat over the shoulders. It wasn't way back here, and it wasn't laid off. 90% plus, I'll guarantee, if you go to World Golf Hall of Fame. So we want to play golf according to the #1 rules, the way God established the earth to turn, the way to establish the world and everything on this planet to respond to. And the #1 law is gravity, and then we can throw in acceleration, momentum, action, reaction, drag, and all those other things. And the more you play in conformity with the rules, the laws of physics, the easier it becomes to play golf more consistently and in less pain, because you're playing golf the way God created the world to turn, and the way to maximize the loss, hit a golf ball. And as we know, the #1 law of impact is the club has to approach the ball on the aiming line, say this is my aiming line, it has to approach it on the line, strike it on the line and be square, leave on the line accelerating, and hit it solid in the sweet spot while doing the first 3. And the #1 way to be on, and on, if this is my aiming line here, swing straight up, straight down, and straight back up, exactly the way your arms are supposed to swing in front of your body. And when you do that, you hit it much more solid straight. And when you do that, you got good aiming, hitting it right down the middle, getting it on the green more often, putt really well, and you'll be shooting those lower scores. So that's it for the search for today about play by the rules. #1 rules are the laws of physics. You find those in the PPGS, in the mitten up the tree, in the backswing, and in the forward mitten up the tree in the forward swing. And that's the way to hit the ball solid and straight to shoot those lower scores. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.